Hello and welcome to this channel. Today I am going to show you some little known surprises about Plato. I will show you a surprising side of Plato that overturns the image of him as a stodgy old man who wrote difficult philosophical books. Now, let's go beyond 2,400 years and get closer to the hidden face of Plato. 1. Plato was not his real name. The first surprise is that Plato was not his real name. His real name was Aristocles. Plato was a nickname. Platon means broad in Greek. There are various theories as to the origin of this nickname. 1. Because of his broad forehead. 2. Because of his broad shoulders. 3. Because he was expressive. Nicknames were common in ancient Greece. Interestingly, Plato also used nicknames for characters in his own writings. For example, the son of Kephalos in The State is called Polemarchos, meaning war leader. Imagine that. If he had been called by his real name, we might be learning about the Aristocles school right now. If the name had been changed, our impression of history might have been different. 2. Plato was an athlete. Plato was not only intelligent, but also physically fit. He was, to my surprise, an athlete in one of the ancient Olympic sports, wrestling. There are records of him winning the Isthmian Games twice. Wrestling at that time was called parley, and was slightly different from the modern version. Athletes fought naked, and the condition of victory was to throw the opponent to the ground or to give him up. This experience greatly influenced his later philosophy. In Plato's work, The State, he explains the importance of a balance between gymnastiki, physical education, and musiki, music and literature, as the ideal education. This is a viewpoint that is relevant to us today. Many people have probably experienced that physical exercise also clears the mind. 3. He was captured and enslaved by pirates. Plato's life was filled with amazing adventures. When he was about 40 years old, on a trip to Sicily, he was captured by pirates and almost sold into slavery. He was almost sold in the slave market until a friend paid the ransom and freed him. Imagine this, a giant of philosophy in chains as a slave. It is believed that this experience influenced his philosophy on justice and freedom. Some believe that his famous cave metaphor was inspired by this experience. Plato's experience 2,400 years ago may have questions for us today. What is freedom and what is justice? Through his experience, we are made to think again. 4. He was supposed to be a comedy writer as a young man. Plato wanted to be a playwright, not a philosopher. He was particularly passionate about writing comedies. An interesting anecdote is that after Plato met Socrates, he burned all the plays he had written. It shows how his turn to philosophy was a major turning point for him. However, his literary talents were not completely wasted. Plato's philosophical writings, especially his dialogues, are a testament to his literary prowess. For example, in the dialogue, Feast, Athenian intellectuals discuss love at a drinking party. The descriptions are so vivid that some of the scenes seem almost comedic. What can Plato's experience teach us? It may be that our past experiences and talents are never wasted, but rather may be utilized in new ways. 5. He founded the world's first university. The last surprise is that Plato founded the oldest university in the world. Called the Academia, it was the prototype of the modern university. It was founded around 387 BC and existed for about 900 years. Mathematics, astronomy, natural sciences, and philosophy were taught. Women were allowed to enter the school, which was revolutionary at the time. Many famous thinkers, including Aristotle, studied here. The Academia was located in the suburbs of Athens, surrounded by olive groves. It is said that the place was named after the Greek mythological hero Academos. At that time in Greece, it was common for philosophers to gather their disciples and teach them. Plato's Academia, however, was an organized educational institution unlike any other. Let's take a closer look at the characteristics of the Academia. At Academia, a wide range of studies were taught, not merely philosophy. Mathematics was especially emphasized, and it is said that the words, "If you do not know geometry, do not enter," were posted at the entrance. Astronomy, music theory, and logic were also studied. Plato emphasized education through dialogue. This is a method in which the teacher does not give a one-way lecture, but rather explores the truth through dialogue with the students. This is the prototype of the modern seminar format. The academia was not just an educational institution, but also a research institution. It was also a place where new knowledge was created. For example, Eudoxus, a student of Plato, developed his theory of planetary motion here. In Greek society at that time, it was not common for women to receive higher education. However, it is said that the academia accepted women as well. The names of female philosophers such as Axiotia and Rastania remain. The academia has attracted students not only from Athens, but from all over Greece and even from various parts of the Mediterranean world. This is a forerunner of the internationality of the modern university. The academia lasted almost 900 years until it was closed by the Roman Emperor Justinian I in 529 AD. This is an astounding length of time and testifies to the influence of the academia. The academia tradition had a profound influence on the subsequent European university system. The fact that the modern terms academy and academic derived from this school of Plato shows the extent of its influence. It is believed that Plato's establishment of the academia was due to his political philosophy. In The State, Plato envisioned an ideal state of philosopher-politicians, and he believed that proper education was indispensable to realize this ideal. The academia was a concrete effort to realize that ideal. Now, we have looked at 5 surprising facts about Plato. Let's look back again. His real name was Aristocles, and Plato was his nickname. He was an Olympic-class wrestler. He has been captured and enslaved by pirates. He used to be an aspiring comedy writer. He founded the Academia, the oldest university in the world. These facts show how multifaceted and rich Plato's life was. He was not just a philosopher who talked about empty theories on the table, but formed his ideas based on his actual life experiences. His physical training in sports, his literary talent, his bitter experience as a slave, and his educational aspect. All of these combined to shape Plato's philosophy. What we can learn from Plato's life is that people have multifaceted and unexpected talents. We, too, may have undiscovered talents within us. We may also have various experiences in life that come back to haunt us later in life in unexpected ways. Like Plato, we may be able to create new value by integrating seemingly unrelated experiences and gaining a unique perspective. Through this video, we hope you have become more familiar with Plato. The great philosopher grew up with the same diverse experiences as the rest of us. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. Your likes will be the driving force behind our next video. See you next time. Bye.